Hi everybody, it's Gabby. Today we will be doing a smoky date night eye. If you want to see how I achieve this glam, please keep on watching. Okay, so first off, I always start with my NYX Pore Filling Primer. I really love this because it just fills in my large pores that I have around my nose, on my chin and my T-zone as well. So I just really work that in. So once that there is all done and worked into the skin, I do go in with my NYX HD Studio Photogenic in CW12, so it's the green corrector, and I use it on any acne spots I may have, any redness. So just there, and up here. And that's pretty well it for right now. So I let that sit and dry a little bit before I try to buff it out. And now I take a damp beauty sponge and just blend it out a little bit. For foundation, I go in with the L'Oreal Paris Infallible Pro Matte, the 24-hour formula. I'm in shade 102 or Shell Beige. I just dot it. Drag some around on my face. Nothing too fancy. And I put some foundation on my eyelids as well. And now I buff it out with this beauty sponge that has no additional product on it. And sorry if I'm looking down, I'm looking at my handheld mirror here. Just go in and really pat it out. Even though it's like a date night or whatever, I don't apply a thick layer of foundation. I don't like when I feel cakey or anything like that, so. You always want to kind of blend it into your hairline and drag down the neck. So what I'll do now is I'm just going to dot a little more foundation where I think I need it. Yeah, really just on the apples of my cheeks. Okay, beauty sponge. Okay, and what I especially like about this foundation is that it does dry down pretty well on its own. So I don't need to set the whole face. I don't set it all the time, but I do on date night because I really want to make sure that, you know, none of my contour or bronzer is going to stick to certain areas and look muddy. For here we want to look as flawless as possible, you know. So to set the face, I go in with my Marcelle loose powder. It's the translucent face powder. So what I do is I just, you know, I usually just flip it upside down, tap it a few times, tap the lid to make sure nothing's fused all over the place. And then I just grab my Real Technique setting brush. And I like this because I can get into all the little nooks and crannies on my face. So I always grab some powder and start right under the eye. I will blend out with a damp sponge if I notice that, you know, there's been any creasing under the eye. I typically don't have to do that just because I do usually go from foundation straight into powder. So usually pretty good. And I do drag whatever's left on the brush down my neck to just make sure that that doesn't transfer to my clothing. Next, I like to go in with my eyeshadow. Before I powder the rest of the face, in case, you know, there's any fallout, I can just dust it off and it doesn't affect anything else going on to my face after the fact. For eyeshadow primer, I go in with the Smashbox 24-hour Photo Finish Shadow Primer. And I'll go in with the same sponge that we used earlier. So just kind of pat that out and then can go in with whatever you want. I kind of go back and forth. I go back and forth between my finger and a brush. So to start off, I'm gonna go in to the Original Naked palette that I have here, and I'm going to use this color right here, Naked, for a transition shade, just to kind of start things off. So just gonna place it right here, right in the crease. I always work from the outside in. Next, I'm going to take that same little shadow packing brush. It's a really flat, a flat brush, as you can see. It's a little tapered. So I'm going in again to the Original Naked palette. I'm going to use this color here, Buck. It's the darker matte brown of the palette. And I'm just going to place it right on my eyelid because I'm thinking I'm just going to do pretty simple look. You know, I want to make this pretty easily achievable. So the next shade we're gonna go into is in the Naked 2 palette. It's the shade Busted, so the second from the end here. It's a dark brown shimmery shade. So I'm gonna just swipe down with my packing brush. I'm just gonna pack it. This is really just to darken up that outer corner. Okay, so the outer third of the eye. Really just gonna pack it. And we'll go in with a blending brush and blend it. And really just buff that out a little, blend the edge with that, with the Buck shade that we have on the eyelid. So it just looks like it's together. So we really just want to make them mesh together, look like friends, you know, that kind of deal. So I'm really not blending the outer corner itself. I'm just blending where the two shades meet and a little up on the crease. Make everything look real nice. Now we'll go and do the same on the other eye. Okay, so I'm gonna go back into the Original Naked palette with my fluffy blender brush and go back into the shade Naked. We're just really wanting to go in with some product to help with the blending. Going in again, just to kind of make sure both eyes are as similar as you can get them. It's really kind of hard with working with dark shades for that reason. It's really easy to place too much on one side, and then you kind of have to just keep trying to even it out. Next, I might actually put a little bit of this Busted shade from the Naked 2 palette just right on the, just on the eyelid, just in the inner corner a little bit. Well, not inner corner, but inner third of the eye, we'll say, without really getting it in the crease again. So I'm not putting too much product on my brush because I don't want it to get everywhere. So here I'm just, you know, fluffing it out so that it kind of looks like the other side. Okay, so now I'm going to take off any excess product from my blending brush, and then I'm just going to go in and blend edges of the crease colors so that, you know, it's not as harsh. All right, so I think we're gonna go in with a little pop of color. So I'll take this packing brush and the Smashbox Golden Hour palette, and we're gonna use this dark purple here. Take some product with your packing brush, dust it off, and what I want to do is focus it just on the center of the eyelid, not bringing it up into the crease. So when a product isn't as pigmented as you want it to be, you can just go and wet it. So you can use a setting spray or whatever to wet it. I just used water. Wetting the brush, especially when you're using something more shimmery or metallic, it'll really help to bring out that shine. Now I'm gonna go back in with one of these mattes. So Buck from the original Naked palette, I'm gonna take it again, really dust it off, and I'm just using this to blend the edge of that purple and with the crease and the two colors beside it. I changed my mind, not leaving it in the center. Boom, that looks pretty good. And then I'm just going to use one of these Urban Decay brushes that came with the palette to go back into Buck, since that blending brush has a lot of dark shadow on it, and that's not really what we're wanting for the crease. I'll do the other eye the same way and I'll be right back. Okay, so now that I've done the other eye, I'm just going to brush away any fallout that may have occurred. So now what I'm gonna do is take the smaller end of the Urban Decay brush and focus on using Naked and Buck first. I'm gonna kind of smoke out the lower lash line. So for the lower lash line, I'm gonna go in with the lighter shade Hustle. It's a little lighter than Busted. Focus it on the outer portion of that lower lash to make and connect it kind of with the top here. I'm gonna focus Buck on this, the middle to front portion of the lower lash. And now I'm gonna wet the end of the brush to get a little bit of this purple shade. Okay? So tap off the excess, and this is going to go right center. So now I'm going to go do my eyebrows off camera. Okay, so now that I'm done with the brows, I'll just go over the products that I use. So I use the Anastasia Dip Brow in Taupe, and I set it with the Maybelline Tattoo Studio. Now we'll move on to eyeliner. The eyeliner that I like to go into to start off to draw a straight line is the L'Oreal Paris Voluminous Liner Noir, which is just a liquid eyeliner. I'm just going to kind of follow the shadow. After that, I like to go in with the Covergirl liquid liner in the shade 320. Just going to connect and drag it. I'm not going to connect the eyeliner right into here just because my eyes are really watery and so it tends to run. So I'm just going to do the eyeliner on the other side and I will be right back. Okay, so there's the wing eyeliner done on both eyes, and I'm just going to highlight the inner corner with Toasted from the original Naked palette. You want to add some shimmer right here. And always make sure to connect your inner corner with that bottom liner. Dust off some of that fallout right there. Okay. Now we're going to move on and finish the face. I'm going to start with this BH Cosmetics Blush and Contour Palette. I'm going to be going in with this blush shade right at the top here. Just get my brush in there, dust off whatever excess there may be, and just dust it onto the cheeks, bring some life back to the face. So now we're going to contour with the Hoola Benefit matte bronzer powder. Just get a bronzer brush, just put it right where we want it, just lightly, you know, circular motions. And you want to bronze up the temples and your forehead also. With the bronzer done, we're gonna go in and contour. So what I like to do is take this Real Technique sculpting brush and go back into my BH Cosmetics contour and blush palette, and I just ever so slightly tap into this dark brown, and then I really just focus it right at the hollow of my cheek here, right at the top, and I don't bring it down, I bring it about halfway. So again, just barely tap off any excess. We really don't want a lot because this is a really dark shade. So just focusing it at the back half of the cheek, and I'm just gonna make sure we have about the same amount of product on both sides. And then with whatever's left, I do rub along the sides of my face. So you start at the sideburn and you work your way down your jawbone right here. You drag it down your neck. And I know it looks a little crazy right now, but we're gonna blend it. So we're gonna take our bronzing brush and just blend it all out. I sometimes add some of medium cocoa from this Cocoa Contour palette by Too Faced, and just marry it all together. So just make sure to blend out the contour underneath your jaw to really make sure that it is not just a harsh line. Back with the setting brush, I go into the Cocoa Contour palette again, into this light shade here, light cocoa. So this is where I'm really going to use this as a highlight. I don't use liquid concealer to highlight or anything like that. I do this on the sides of my nose, on the top, and then I do grab the sculpting brush and just, without adding any extra product, I just lightly graze the sides of my nose to add a little smidge of a contour. Then I kind of cut my contour underneath here. A little light spot right at the middle of my chin, T-zone right here. And now for highlighter, I use the Hard Candy Rose Gold highlighter. So what I do is I start at the lightest shade and just swirl my fan brush, flip it over, do it again. I like this because it's finely milled, so there aren't big chunks, and it really just looks amazing. This is how I like my highlight to look. So down the nose, right above the arch of my brow, and the high points of the cheek. And a Cupid's bow, just a little touch. Since we're almost done with our makeup, we're now going to go in and do mascara. So what I like to do is I like to curl my lashes first. So I'm going to go in with some Voluminous Lash Paradise by L'Oreal Paris. So with this, I just put the brush against my lashes and turn and blink through to really coat from the root to the end of the lashes. So we're just gonna do like one thin coat, and then I am really careful because of how big the brush is, but I always do my bottom eyelashes. And for lashes, we're going to go in with these Ardell Faux Mink lashes in style 811. And so I've already used these before. I've cut them down so that they fit my eye perfectly. And I'm going to use this Duo eyelash adhesive. It's the dark lash adhesive. So I'm just going to put on these lashes and I'll be right back. Alright, so there we are with the lashes. So now I'm just going to blend them with my natural lashes with a little more of that Lash Paradise. Last but not least, we're going to go in with our lipstick. And I'm going in with the NYX Slip Tease Lip Lacquer in the shade Strawberry Whip. Now, this is not a matte formula, it stays glossy. I love the applicator. It hugs the bottom lip so perfectly. And the little ball end really makes it easy to follow the line of your lips. Kind kind of taking away the need for, you know, a lip liner. Okay, so there you have it. Here's my completed date night look. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye!